But to recap, we are back with Resident Evil 1 on the Sega Saturn. Slightly changed up part, which has a couple unique features, which is the main reason I'm playing it. Last time I played, I had dispatched Planet 42 using V-Jolt and a shotgun. Now we are back to the mansion for Mansion Part 2. My quick and dirty thoughts on the movie is that it's not a great movie. It's not like gonna blow you away with the quality, but it's like dumb fun. It does just enough similar and just enough different from the games. Enjoyable little romp. Nothing about it like pissed me off, which is a plus. If you're like a real stickler for accuracy, or you really think there's certain characters you like who should have been in this film but weren't, I could see you coming away annoyed. I didn't have many expectations for this, so personally, I didn't think it was bad. It was like, and kind of like a slightly below average film. Enjoyable because of like, atmosphere was pretty good, callbacks were good. It was overall entertaining. Again, not gonna win like an award, you know. I guess not like a really good movie, but it was enjoyable. So production company is the same. So that's one reason why I didn't have super high like expectations for it, because the film rights are still owned by the same company. You're still going to get the same level of quality, more or less. Same thing with the CGI stuff, you know. It doesn't matter. When they were like, you know, hyping up Infinite Darkness, I expected roughly the same quality as previous CGI films, because that's exactly what the same people were working on it. They didn't change anything. You know, chopping it up into a 4-episode series is not going to fundamentally change what it is. So, I mean, let's hopefully I don't get got. Am I yellow fine right now? Yeah, that's interesting to think about. Yellow fine doesn't last through many games. It stops being a thing. You get green fine, and then it's like orange caution, red caution, and then danger. Yellow fine is only in a handful of the games, if I'm not mistaken. The Spencer Mansion in the film is interesting. It feels like what that mansion would be like if they remade Resident Evil 1 again and in the RE engine. That's kind of what the depiction felt like to me. If there's one thing the Spencer Mansion isn't in this, in the original version and in the remake, it's pretty well lit. There's a lot of darkness in the movie. That's why I kind of feel like it's Spencer Mansion if it was remade in the RE engine. Still my favorite CGI cutscene in the series, because the hunter has manners. He opens doors properly, which is kind of funny to me. Look at him. So polite. So polite. Oh my god. Was I in caution already? Well, I was in yellow fine. I was in yellow fine. He did hit me once, so it's possible I was in caution. Yeah, that's probably the case. Hunters in this version of Resident Evil are particularly harder than in Director's Cut, because there's no auto-aim in this. You don't lock on to enemies. So if you're struggling to get a bead on the enemy, you are probably going to get your head chopped off. That being said, you can tell that the budget was a little restricted. They made good use of it, though. The sets, when they utilized them, were pretty nice. They captured the vibe of the game pretty well, particularly the RPD outskirts. That'd be quick on the draw with the hunter. This game like escalates with the hunters. Granted, they don't last that long. There are maybe 5 hunters you have to absolutely fight in the mansion, and then a couple in the underground. But it's a huge jump in difficulty, which is something I like about the original Resident Evil, including the remake. I don't think like RE2 doesn't do that as much, right? RE2 shows you the liquor pretty quickly, and that's about it. On the B scenario, obviously, and in the remake, there's Mr. X, but like he's not really a huge escalation. RE1 escalates way harder, and remake escalates less hard than original. So like, you know, see that? Like you can't even get the shotgun up in time. Got him. So yeah, like hunters are fast and they're very furious, and if you aren't watching your 6, you'll get jumped pretty easily by them. Again, I always say, you know, it's the big difference between this and Director's Cut is the fact that you can auto aim, and also the readying plus the lack of auto aim means that like if the hunter's in front of you and he jumps, and like not only are you delayed because of the shotgun lifting, you may not even be aiming in the right area. Like he might have gone to the left or whatever. So like you have to like do this, which is like this. See how slow she turns? You can see why, you know, the lack of auto aiming. Whereas in RE remake and director's cut, you can just do this. Like you can just reholster and you'll automatically snap to the enemy. So it's a pretty big factor. I usually like to take care of the hunters in here too. In remake, you get attacked by multiples at once. In this, it's 1 on the bottom and 2 on the top. I think he's gonna jump. And if you're familiar with director's cut, you'll probably notice I'm using way more ammo to take these guys down, and that's whoops, that's on purpose because director's cut hunters are easier. Everything is easier in director's cut. The default difficulty director's cut, everything is easier. A summon bitch. Whoa. Look at all those little emojis. I get pretty close. Yeah, that's another pro tip. If you see a hunter with his back turned to you, get close and start shooting, because I don't know why this is. If you shoot a hunter in the front in classic Resident Evil, they will sprawl back onto their back. They'll get knocked away from you, and also if they get back up, they could get a little bit random. You don't know what they'll do. If they have their back to you and you shotgun them, they just like shudder forward, but they don't get turned around and they don't get knocked down. So you can like kind of stun lock them and take them out that way. So if you have an opportunity to shoot a hunter from behind, definitely take it. But yeah, you know, with Welcome to Raccoon City, like, you know, I don't want to be like, you know, super hard on it, but I don't also want to be like overly forgiving. Some people are going to say it's like an abomination, an insult to God, you know, various extreme stances. But for me personally, I mean, again, some people are also going to say that the movie is, you know, amazing, and they're going to like be obsessed with it. My opinion falls somewhere in the middle. It's not the greatest and best. It's not a super good movie, but it's not terrible. I keep using the term dumb fun, and like it kind of fits that well, right? Like it is kind of, if you're like a fan and you're not, you know, if you're not going to take personal you're not going to take personal offense to some liberties and changes, and you're going to understand, like, you know, the budget this movie was made on, the company making it, you know, if you take those all into consideration, it's still pretty enjoyable fun. They did a pretty good job where they needed to. The truth of the matter is, you're never going to get a film that is a 1-to-1 adaptation, because these games run anywhere between, you know, 10 to 25 hours depending on the game. So just the variety of scenes, the way character arcs move in a video game, set pieces, bosses, it's not possible to make that in a movie. It is possible to make that in a TV series or an animated show, which I think this would have been better doing that. But I think video games do not lend themselves well to film adaptations. I kind of hope that going forward, I think more production companies and rights holders should know that. I do not know why there is an insistence on making games into movies, which is probably one of the hardest fits for a game. The entire time I watched the film, I could not help but think, wow, if they made this into like a 10-episode show, like a season, and they actually like stretched it out and gave aspects more room, you know, more time for the actors to explore their characters, this would have been like so much better. This in fact, I couldn't even argue, this like film almost felt like a supercut of a TV show. That went actually pretty well. That was not bad. You might have seen I fired at one point. The muzzle flashed. It used up one of my ammo counts, and yet nothing happened to the hunter. In RE1 Classic, if you get hit at the right time, you'll fire, use the ammo, even see a bit of the animation, but you will not take, you will not deal any damage because the animation got interrupted. So it's kind of a pain occasionally. Not the worst thing in the world, but a noticeable issue. Right out of the fireplace. Oh my god. You horrible creature. I'm probably gonna be on caution. I'll pop the herbs now. That was pretty good Yawn fight. As I was saying before with the RNG, he was like, he didn't attack me all that much. It actually went quite well. Big Bash here. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe, comment, or like. It means a lot. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.